I'm Richard Ross, and I'm the chairman of Rosetrees Trust, which is a charity my parents formed on their golden anniversary, which they celebrated in 1987. Why did they form this charity? Well, when they married in 1937, they had no money, they were very poor, they worked very hard, and they were successful, and they wanted to celebrate their golden anniversary by sharing with other people their good fortune. Now, like many people who come to charity, they had no fixed idea as to what they wanted to do. So initially they supported lots of different welfare projects, and my mother, who was elderly at the time, particularly liked projects for elderly people and old age homes, and she was very generous, and she did a lot of good work. One day a professor wrote to us and said he was researching cancer, and he had a new approach, which was to target the cancer, so that instead of giving chemotherapy to the whole body, he just wanted to give chemotherapy to the particular part of the body. And that seemed like a good idea, so we supported it. We then talked about it and realised that as nice as it was to create an old age home, which was very comfortable, many of the people there had dementia and they didn't really benefit. So having thought about it, we thought, well, if we supported research into dementia and those people who never went into a care home, then that would be more beneficial. So that's how Rosetrees got started on medical research. I'm an accountant, I don't know anything about technical subjects like science, but I created a very simple system so that on one page a scientist could tell me what they were doing and I could understand that. Now, not everyone's interested in medical research. I'm not suggesting for a minute that everyone should do what I would do, but I think it's interesting to know what we did and how we did it, because it might help you to decide what to do yourself. Recently I met up with a psychologist who specialises in philanthropy, and we were discussing why do people give or not give, and he asked me a very simple question: why does your family give? And in my case, my parents were incredibly generous, and they were probably more generous than others. And why did they do it? Well, I've explained that they started off feeling they should help others, but I think if you are successful, you have an obligation to help others, and not everyone feels that way, but that's how you should feel. But I don't feel that you should be driven in your interest for charity by feeling obliged. You should be doing something that you really enjoy doing. It's a little bit like playing a sport or doing anything. If you're really interested, you're going to want to do it, and no one's going to force you to, and if you're not going to. So you've really got to decide in your own mind what it is that makes you happy, and once you've decided what it is, that's what you should do. So let me just explain why I enjoy doing what I do. In my case, I'm dealing with very, very intelligent people, professors. They're the leading researchers in their field in the world. They're very articulate, they're very committed, they're very passionate, they're not interested in money, which is quite different to a lot of people these days, and they are totally dedicated to finding a cure. And in the case of medical research, there is no quick, easy answer. You can't put up a building and 12 months later stick your name on it and say, there you are, we've done that, because research can go on for years. But to really enjoy what you're doing, you have to meet the people who are looking after what it is you want to do, and understand what they want, what they need, how you can help them. And by going to meet professors, and now it's over 25 years, I've got to know many professors. I have to say I've probably met 200 professors. I've never yet met a professor I don't like. And when you meet them, you also meet their students. They work with PhD or post-PhD students, and these people are the people who change the way we live, because they are the ones who make the discovery. Now, fortunately for the professors, they're employed by their university, so they have a job and they have a regular salary at the end of each month. But the young researchers have no guarantee. The only way that they can be in research is if the professor can find donors who will contribute to that research. So in our case, Rosetrees looks at these researchers, looks at what they're doing, and supports them. Now, one of the things that surprised me when I met these researchers is that we were one of the few people who went to see them. So lots of people give large amounts to charity, but they don't actually go and talk to the people who they're giving the money to. And for me, the pleasure of giving is to meet these people. Many of them come from overseas, and they've all got a different story to tell, but they're all unique or uniform in one sense, in that they are all totally committed to what they're doing. So when you talk to them, you're meeting people who are very, very enthusiastic, they're very optimistic, they're going to find a cure for some terrible illness soon on in their life, and they're going to keep at it until they do. and their optimism wears off on you. So if you find something you're interested in doing yourself, you find people who are very committed to doing that thing as well, and you mix with them and you hear what they're doing and you keep up the progress report of what they're doing, which is what we do, because in our case we get a report every 6 months, and at the end of a 3-year project we get a report which says what they summarises what they set out to achieve and what they actually achieved. And the net effect of that is that it's a story, and we're involved in that story. And the more you meet these people, and the more you hear, and the more good you find they're doing, the more you're into that, and the more committed you are. So it's anti-natural to give away your own money. And as a family, I come from a very cautious, careful family. You don't spend a lot of money. But when it comes to the charity, we spend infinitely more on that than we would on anything else, and we love it. We love it because we love the people, we love what they're doing, we love the results they're getting, we love the benefit, and therefore the net result is that we get an enormous amount of happiness and satisfaction from giving away our own money. So it doesn't sound logical, but it is logical. Now, I don't know many people who do what we do, but I have met a number of these people, and they all tell exactly the same story. They might be in education, they might be helping Africa, whatever they're doing, they absolutely are totally engrossed in it, and because they're engrossed in it, they get enormous pleasure. In fact, 1 or 2 very successful people have said to me they've got more pleasure from spending their money than they ever got from earning it. So if you're out there and you're thinking, would I like to help someone? You don't have to start in a big way. You can give a small amount of money, maybe even give a little bit of your time. Just go and meet the people who you think you're interested in. Don't make any quick decisions. Do think about what it is that you're interested in, because as I said, you're only really going to take to something if you're interested in yourself. But once you've got an idea, talk to other people doing the same thing, find out, meet the people. In our case, we practice venture philanthropy, which means that we're running it as a business in the sense that the people we deal with have to be super efficient. We have to be super efficient because we don't want to waste any money. My parents worked incredibly hard to make their money, and I don't want anyone to waste it. But once you're satisfied that you feel you've got the right people to work with, you've got an objective, you follow what they're doing, you become involved in what they're doing, and before you know it, you're part of a story. And once you get into that story, you will love being part of that, and you'll want to do more. So I've been doing this now for 25 years. I could be sitting on a beach or playing golf. I elect to spend a lot of time with these people because I love every minute of it. And if you've got children, and maybe they're in their late teens or 20s and they don't know quite what to do with their life, get involved, get them involved, and you know what, it might suddenly give them a meaning in life and make them feel this is something I really want to do. So the irony of life is that philanthropy, charity involves giving something away, but what you actually get back at the end of the day is far more than you give.